The Valentinian understanding of the devil. In Valentinian thought, the devil is not an independent, self-existent being of absolute evil, but is instead associated with ignorance, falsehood, and error. Unlike later dualistic Christian traditions that see the devil as an opposing force to God, Valentinian theology frames the devil as a byproduct of spiritual deficiency rather than a cosmic adversary of equal stature to the divine. This perspective is clearly reflected in the fragments of Heracleon's commentary on the Gospel of John, which emphasize the devil's nature as one of deception, error, and desire, rather than autonomous will. In Fragment 44, Heracleon comments on John 8:43-44a, where Jesus tells his audience, "Why do you not understand what I say? It is because you cannot bear to hear my word. You are of your father the devil, and your wish is to do your father's desires." Heracleon interprets this passage as an indication that Jesus' opponents belong to the substance of the devil. This does not imply a literal biological descent, but rather that they share in his nature, which consists of ignorance and falsehood. Heracleon further emphasizes that these individuals are neither children of Abraham nor children of God, for if they were, they would have recognized and accepted Jesus. This interpretation aligns with the Valentinian view that one's spiritual identity is not merely a matter of lineage, but is determined by one's receptivity to divine truth. Fragment 45 further reinforces this by stating unequivocally, "Those to whom the word came were of the substance of the devil." Here, Heracleon suggests that some people are intrinsically bound to the realm of ignorance and deception. This understanding of the devil is not as a personal being leading others into evil, but as a principle of error and falsehood that manifests in individuals who reject divine truth. In Fragment 46, Heracleon clarifies that when Jesus says, "You are of your father the devil," it means that these individuals share in the same substance as the devil. He then makes an important distinction regarding the devil's nature, stating, "The devil has no will, but only desires." This is crucial to the Valentinian understanding because it implies that the devil does not possess independent agency or power, but is instead a being driven by impulses, much like those who follow him. Heracleon further explains that this statement was not directed at those who are by nature children of the devil, but rather at animate people who have become children of the devil by intent. He thus distinguishes between different categories of people: those who are naturally bound to ignorance, those who willingly align themselves with the devil's nature through their choices, and those who, though initially inclined toward error, may turn toward God. This nuanced perspective aligns with the Valentinian tripartite anthropology, which divides humanity into three groups: the spiritual, pneumatics; the animate, psychics; and the material, hylics. The psychics, or those of an intermediate nature, can choose either truth or error, whereas the hylics are bound to ignorance. Heracleon outlines three ways in which one may be considered a child: by nature, by inclination, and by merit. A child by nature is one who is begotten from another being. A child by inclination is one who follows another's will, and a child by merit is one who is designated as such because of their deeds, such as children of hell or offspring of snakes and vipers. This passage shows that in the Valentinian framework, moral and spiritual identity is fluid rather than predetermined, allowing for transformation through knowledge and understanding. Fragment 47 elaborates on the nature of the devil, stating, "His nature is not of the truth, but the opposite to the truth, error and ignorance." Heracleon describes the devil as fundamentally lacking truth, meaning he is defined by deception rather than possessing an inherent substance of his own. He further asserts not only is he himself a liar, but he is also falsehood's father. This means that the devil is not merely a deceiver, but the very principle of deception itself. In Valentinian thought, error is not an equal opposing force to truth, but rather a privation of it, an absence of knowledge that leads to falsehood. Finally, in Fragment 48, Heracleon offers a striking interpretation of John 8:50, where Jesus states, "Yet I do not seek my own glory. There is one who seeks it, and he will be the judge." Heracleon argues that the judge referred to is not the Father, but rather Moses, stating, "The one who judges and punishes is Moses, that is, the lawgiver himself." This interpretation suggests that judgment comes through the law rather than through divine condemnation, reinforcing the Valentinian view that true salvation comes not from adherence to legalistic requirements, but from receiving divine knowledge. In summary, Heracleon's fragments illustrate the Valentinian understanding of the devil as a being whose substance is error and falsehood. He is not an independent adversary of God, but the embodiment of ignorance and deception. Those who reject divine truth and embrace falsehood become his children, not by literal descent, but by their alignment with his nature. However, because spiritual identity is not static, those who currently follow the devil's desires may still turn toward truth, demonstrating the Valentinian belief in the transformative power of knowledge.